All right, team, welcome back to another Altered TCG Tournament Results recap for the week ending the 5th of October 2025. This is Chili from My Hero's Guide to Asgartha, and this week I just want to give you a quick recap. Was a very short week in terms of tournaments recorded on BGA, partially because it was the transition from the old set to the new set as Skybound Odyssey started to become implemented. We're going to see a couple of those things, and a number of the tournaments had their finals or had a week off. So let's go through what we did have available. The first thing to note is the AWOL Season 3 Invitational of 60 players, and that was won by no other than Fran Nico Rico on Trayston Rossum using one of the last times we got a chance to see the bug fix combo in action. As we can see here, Traced being the only hero represented for Axiom, and Fen being the only hero represented for the Lyra faction, and of course Sigmar and Goreng the only heroes represented in Ordus, Lindaway and Akesha the only heroes represented in Izmir. So there was a number of heroes not represented, but this was basically the best of the best that were invited, that had done really well in AWOL. Consistency was being rewarded, and let us go through the deck that he had. Really, ultimately, what is most important to know is the Ink Casters and the Lyra Chronicler to be able to get the bug fix out, and Bug Out Bag also available. And as we're seeing, the 5 landmarks being pivotal in the way that most Trace and Rossum builds are made. How do you change that composition? That's up to the individual player and the way that they like to play. But only 2 Dr. Frankensteins is the one that I was surprised at, given that is such a critical card in the way that most Trace and Rossum builds are actually operating. Choosing for the 3 Sap Sniffers and the 3 Keelon Elementals, and 2 Rare Grems and 1 single Grems. I know as part of AQZ, which I am part of, we talk a lot about that, but it's either 1-2 or 2-1. Personally, I use the 3 Rare Grems as a just in case, have that available for you depending on the matchups that are there. But the 3 uniques that were played by Franny Rico: Ouroboros Incaster 3-2, 3-3-2. When a robot joins your expedition, you may return a card from your reserve to your hand, and when played from reserve, if you choose not to play from reserve and use its quick ability, activate the from reserve trigger of the next character you play from your hand this turn. The second Ouroboros Incaster is a 2-2, 1-2-2. When played from reserve, target character gains 1 boost, and also when a robot joins your expedition, this is from anywhere, you may return a card from your reserve to your hand. These 2 are very familiar to me because they are my cards, and Franny Rico has had the chance to make them his in the way that he played. Fantastic work by him in getting the AWOL Invitational after narrowly missing out in Barcelona from the Spanish qualifier and various other online tournaments. So and then Lyra Chronicler being the third of his uniques, 3-2-0-4-3, and the same as the others. When a robot joins your expedition, you may return a card from your reserve to your hand. Now, Legal at Arms had some issues. I've reached out to them. There are 2 weeks worth of tournaments that are not there, the 22nd of September as well as the 29th of September. I do want to bring this in. I want to make sure I close off the loop there as well, but we did not have any tournaments, recorded. They did go live though. They did not take the break. And the same thing for Road to Valhalla, the Tuesday tournament on the 30th of September. 56 players, the same as the week before. And what you are seeing here is a little bit more of Skybound Odyssey being played. In this case, 20% of the makeup of the sets of the cards played actually came from Skybound, so we're seeing a lot of people testing in this tournament, and we are seeing mostly a reduction in Whispers from the Maze from what got played, a little bit of reduction in BTG, a little bit of reduction from Triber Frost, and this was won by Zoa's Lindaway and more. Fantastic work. It is nice to see someone taking care of Lindaway and getting a chance to present what their deck could be in terms of the future. I do hope more people play Lindaway. It's such a fun hero to play. And the main thing that I look at here is Suha Korgan Operative to be able to sabotage has become really good. I love that card in the way that I'm currently building basically all the heroes that I have now for Izmir. I play with that. And then the other thing is Marie Curie was also played as part of the new cards. Caladrius also played as part of the new cards. And that is basically it. But let's look at the uniques that Zoa has put into their deck. Two Izmir Nurse uniques. The first one, 2/2 for 1/1/1. You may sacrifice a character if you do draw a card, otherwise resupply. Really strong. You get the benefit twice, so you more than likely don't want to sacrifice this first card. Then the second, but you'd probably okay to sacrifice it from the sec when it's played from reserve. Studious Disciple 2/1, 1/2/1. When played from hand, you may sacrifice a character if you do draw a card. And then the third is, which is the second Izmir Nurse, is 3/2 for 3/1/3. When played from hand, you may sacrifice a character. If you do, you may discard target character or permanent with hand cost 2 or less. So very, very much in line with what Lindaway is trying to do. They don't seem broken. These seem just pretty generally good uniques for Lindaway. And it was nice to see Zoa actually get this win and represent Izmir, which has seen a very deep fall from grace as due to Afanas' adjustments in terms of its gameplay. I'm working with Pandy and the team over within Nook. They did actually host a final, and that's also with Freeloader as well. Of course, cannot forget him, and Meltdown, who are leading the charge on Nook. To get this information, I'm hoping to have that next week, but it was the Season 2 final invitational on the 24th of September, so it's been a couple of weeks. I will be getting that, working with 39 cards to get that uploaded shortly, taking on that responsibility. So that is a very, very short recap of the tournaments that were played this week, with most of the other tournaments taking a hiatus for the week, getting that little break for the casting team. But really fun. I am excited to see if we see close to 20% representation of Skybound Odyssey over the next few weeks. That is going to be brilliant. And hopefully it's at the expense of Beyond the Gates as opposed to the others, so we're getting a more spread out meta. So when the time does come that Altered chooses to switch decks or ban, how would I call it, complete sets or cycle sets in and out, we do have things we can go to. They have not made any announcement of doing this at any future time, but I do expect as a game grows, you do actually cycle in and out of decks. But anyway, that is it from me. Enjoy the weekend, enjoy your time, and I will be seeing you on the next one.